Hello everyone, I'm going to introduce the fifth section of internal combustion engine, post-flow performance. There are two topics, including top 20 vocabulary words and post-flow performance. Part 1, top 20 vocabulary words. These vocabulary words will be repeated in the presentation. Please listen to the words carefully. Flow bench, illustrate, intake port, exhaust port, turn on, apparatus, wrench, adjust, Allen key, caliper, mount, leakage, turn off, stabilize, record, upgrade, range, orifice, cork, needle. Part 2, post-flow performance. Part 2, intake and exhaust valve flow measurements. Danny here will show you how to operate the flow bench and measure intake and exhaust valve flow rate. Let's start the experiment.
This experiment illustrates intake and exhaust valve flow measurement on a flow bench. First we measure intake valve, so we close the exhaust port flow and open intake port flow, turn on to intake mode and turn on the flow bench. The apparatus required for this experiment are flexi gauge, wrench, valve adjuster, vernier caliper and Allen key. Use the valve adjustment tools to adjust the intake valve clearance, as we can see in the video. Adjust the valve clearance of 0.10 mm. Mount the cylinder head on the flow meter, and on the cylinder head mount the dial gauge to measure the movement of the valve. The flow bench here we used is the Superflow SF260 flow bench. At first, measure the leakage. So in order to find the leakage, we run the leakage test. So we got the leakage of 2.5, and so we turn off the fan now and enter the leakage value of which is of 2.5 CFM. After entering, now we go for the servo value, which is like new test pressure. So in order to stabilize the pressure, we run the flow meter. So we got the stabilization value. So turn on the flow and record the flow reading of every 1 mm of valve lift, as you can see in the video. when at flow meter, the flow reading, when it shows a greater symbol behind the flow reading, which means we have to upgrade the range of the flow meter. So now we change the range to 2, as you can see. Then continue to take the reading, and when you see the flow reading, to upgrade the range and upgrade it. Follow the range table to open the off settings. As you see, we got the flow of 38.8 at 4 mm. At 5 mm we got 44.5. And at 5.96 we got the flow of 47.6, but it shows to upgrade but the flow meter shows to upgrade the range, so we upgrade the range to 4. Range 4. At range 4 we open 1 and 3 the corks, and we set the flow. Ready? Range 4 and upgrade it. Range ready? 4. At 5.97 we got the flow range of 48.9. Now for the exhaust valve. After setting the clearance valve, mount the dial gauge on the cylinder head. Make sure that the dial gauge indicator needle should be placed exactly on the valve seat without touching the rocker arm, as shown in the experiment. Change the settings on the flow con from intake mode to exhaust mode. Also keep the flow com on the range 1. Now open the exhaust port and close the intake and turn on from intake to exhaust mode on the flow bench. Measure the leakage and stabilize the temperature, and follow the same procedure as followed in the intake valve, and continue to take reading of the flow for every 1 mm lift of exhaust valve. Upgrade the range whenever the flow com indicates the upgrade range symbol. Finally, at result for 4 mm of valve lift, we got a flow of 40.2 cfm.
It's the end of our class today. Please remember to recite the top 20 vocabulary words. See you next time.